Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trek Canon. So, today we're going to be doing a review of Season 2, Episode 8, Excretus, Lord Dex. So, right off the bat, y'all guys know it's going to be some spoilers. Y'all know I'm going to probably talk about the whole episode. So, as always, pause the video, go take a look at the episode, come back and restart, and let's see if we could chat about it. But y'all know how I roll. So this episode was fun. Uh, it had its problems, but I think the problems were balanced with the things that I found really good and really teachable and really humorous in this episode. So first, I'll just start off with basically a little synopsis of what's going on. As always, this particular episode of Lord Dex is basically one main plot, and I can gather all of the other things that's going on into one subplot. The main plot is that a Starfleet drill instructor who can split into three different parts has come aboard to test the crew. Now, this particular episode focused so much on past Star Trek, but let me tell you how. Most of the things that were going on were from Star Trek episodes, were from Star Trek movies, and from Star Trek plots and themes. Okay, but the way they blended them all in this episode, like I said, was really good, and really funny, really interesting. Learned they had a message to teach that they gave that I thought they gave in a really good way. I'll talk about the bad side in a minute, but basically she comes aboard and she comes to give her little speech about um her motivational type speech. She started from the bottom, now she's here. But oh my god, cringe. Anyway, so she comes to give her little speech, and by the end of the episode I got the impression that she was like that guy. What was his name? I forgot the guy. He came on board with the Traveler to basically do a test of the warp engines, and how that worked out for him as far as the type of person he was. All right. That I related her so much with that particular character. And I think the episode was called Where No One Has Gone Before. Nope, that's not that one. I'm being crazy. But it was the episode with the Traveler. And but she gave me that impression. Now, what's going on is, like I said, she's on board to give basically to do a swaparoo with the crew. So the command staff and the lower deck staff is going to be switching places. Lower deck staff is going to be acting as command crew, and command crew is going to be acting as lower deck staff. Now, they are going to be placed in like these little module type fly transporter pod holodeck things, right? And that's where they're going to be doing these particular scenarios. Now, when she was given the briefing in the in the hall with all of the people who were going to be participating, there was something that she had on the board that I had to pause and take a look at and just go through. And I'm gonna read it to you guys. All right. On there, I don't know if you guys noticed. Of course you did, because it was on there for a while. But it had the Kobayashi Maru, Time Trap, Tribble Trouble, From Q to Q, Borg Encounter Cause and Effect, Natural Selection, Evolution, Survival of the Fittest, Chain of Command, Hero Worship, Carbon-Based Units, and Naked Time. Now, anybody who's a Trekkie will know that most of those names are actual names of Star Trek episodes. All right. Now, and the other ones, all right, deal with the plots of the episodes that they said. So I don't know if they didn't include that for maybe copyright reasons from the writers. I don't know if maybe they just wanted to do a little switcheroo or something like that to make the names a little bit more funny, but that's what that was. So the first thing that they decided to do was put Mariner inside. She goes in, she's confident, as confident as she always is, telling all the people, yeah, I'm captain. So her first thing was the mirror universe. And I couldn't help but notice that they played true homage to the costume that Lieutenant Uhura wore in the episode Mirror. Is it Mirror Mirror? Yeah, in the episode Mirror Mirror. Okay, so that was very well done. Thank you guys for putting that in there. And yes, we did notice she doesn't have the hips and stuff like you heard. But anyway, so um the thing let me get this right. Let me just say this. Let me just say this because I really like this episode, but the thing that was irking me is just really irking me. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get that off my chest. So what was the deal with all of the sex and sex innuendo and sex talk inside this episode? I don't know if the writer was having a horny moment. Horny, yeah. Or just was letting it fly. Just horny this, horny that. Horny. Let me tell you something about the episode The Naked Time, where everybody lost their inhibitions. I actually did a video about the importance of that episode in Star Trek canon. Okay? And nowhere in that episode did was the focus of everybody's lack of inhibitions sexual. It was all kinds of things going on. Like, I don't know why they decided to focus on everybody having like this big old orgy up inside the Tim Ford or their version of Tim Ford and everything sexual. Hell, the crystalline entity that they put in there, sexual crystalline entity having sex with this and everybody like what was the deal with these people today, man? I think they need to probably let some steam off before they decide to write the next episode. But that's what I really didn't care for too much in this episode was the and it's a kids show, man. Like so that means that some kid, right? That's it's some kid, right, who's watching Lower Decks and he goes in and he's gonna go in and he's gonna ask his mom or dad. It's gonna be like, Dad, I'm horny. Okay, so anyway, and they're gonna have to explain that. But again, it's a kids show. I don't think that would have should have been something that should have been so prevalent in this particular episode. So now that I got that out the way, now that that's behind us, okay, let's talk about the other great things. Now, like I said, man, they had all kind of shout outs to things that was in Star Trek canon as far as episodes and movies. So um I remember, I think it was Mariner when she was in the Mirror Universe. She was like, she double dogged there. And if anybody caught that, that's something Kirk said in what was it, The Voyage Home, I believe it was. All right. So you got they had the body snatcher yell when he found out that she wasn't from the universe. I don't know if you guys ever seen the old 70s. Was it the 70s? Oh my God. I don't know. It might have been the 70s, early 80s. It was called Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right? And the yell, I think it was, who was it? Donald Sutherland played in the movie. But when they found out that she wasn't one of them, they would do that same exact yell. So that was funny that they put that up in there. Now they decided to go to her next, because she failed that one. Her next challenge or test was the Westworld from A Fistful of Datas. All right. And I swear that horse and the scene with her and that horse, the horse stomping her out, when the horse curb stomped. Well, it's not really a curb stomp if well, actually, should I say dirt stomped? When she got dirt stomped. She got dirt stomped. But anyway, that was funny. And I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Maverick, but they referenced that in this too. So they was just going everywhere. Now, we get to Tindy and she gets into the medical ethics. And I don't know why they didn't just call it ethics because that was the name of the episode. But when he said that he bent over and he broke his back picking up a peanut, yeah, I chuckled hard with that one. I chuckled hard. As a matter of fact, that whole thing I chuckled hard talking about some time of life. So let me see what else. Rutherford, he gets to go into the movie The Wrath of Khan for the scenario The Good of the Many. All right, and when the ship blew up, when they just had it sitting out there lonely in space, and it just blew up like that. Oh, oh, yeah, I chuckled. I know you guys chuckled too, but I chuckled. So on the flip side, we got the senior staff, all right, and they're having to do. Oh, by the way, I still love the doctor. The doctor, the part where she jumps up behind the security chief while they in the bunk, and she cuddles up to him like a cat would, and when a red alarm sounded, and she jumped out she fell out the bed. What the? I get a kick out of her all the time. She reminds me of a very, very grouchy Bones. She reminds me like if Bones woke up not having a good day, not like one of his normal not good days, but just like a straight up day. I I I can see him doing the same thing. Now, the bridge crew ends up having to go basically stack boxes in the cargo bay. All right, and they made a reference to how the boxes were shaped, and why would they make boxes this shape if they want them stacked all the time? And no matter what, every time they got these boxes stacked up, things are getting knocked over. Now, all the while, the door is opening up and they getting all these vague orders and all these things happening. Dude in Robin Hood uniform talking about some have you seen Q? Jim Hadar is on a ship and Cleons is running them back and forth through the ship, but nobody's telling them anything, not giving them any information. The only thing they want them to do is stack these boxes. So they end up failing that. Now, they do another team up with basically the lower decks and the bridge crew, right? And this time they're doing the exit scene from the movie The Search for Spock. Okay. And instead of, they did the whole run up scene where they wait to the last minute to open up the space dock doors. Wait, what was that? Am I thinking crazy again? Nah, it wasn't The Search for Spock. Anyway, but they do that little scene where they had full impulse going towards the space dock doors, but in this one, because of the fight, they crashed and failed the scene. Now, Boimer. Boimer had the most interesting. He had a mix up of pretty much everything they had to do with the board. And again, so the board queen wants to have sex with Boimer. We got horny board queens now. Like, I really don't know what they was doing with this particular, what they was thinking. I don't know, maybe, I don't know what he was thinking. But by the way, isn't the crystalline entity extinct? Isn't, didn't, didn't that one shatter and that was the last of his species or something like that? I'm thinking about that. Now, Bormer ends up going through his scenario, talking because he didn't read so much about the Borg and everything, and he starts off with a failing grade and ends up, each time restarting, trying to get the perfect score, trying to get perfect score, running off with the, trying to save the Borg babies from the maturation chamber and everything. Then he started trying to figure out how to teach the Borg queen empathy and just all this stuff, man, right? So when he finally get a where it says 100 on the screen, he gets a call from the captain, and this is what's going on, right? So, like I said, the DI reminded me of the fraud that was the guy that the traveler was working with when they took the ship to that super speed. All right, and I really think it was an episode where no one has gone before, but um basically her mission is she chose this crew because at the beginning what she asked the question, what kind of captain would leave for a crew member stranded while they go off and answer a distress call? And that was a bad decision. So she chose this crew so that she could show a need for her services in Starfleet, because as she said, the big crews or the big ships always get a passing grade. Okay, so she had designed and set up these particular tests for everybody to fail, and it made sense once she said that, because when I was looking at the scenarios that they were doing, they seemed very limited for creative thought, for outside the box thinking. Okay, they were very linear. All right, so Boimer gets a message from the captain, who's basically like, "Yo, I need you to stay up inside this simulation, because once the simulation is over, she submits this stuff, she could basically break up our crew." All right, so Boimer has to stay in there while the captain basically scares the lady into giving a better grade, okay, and admitting her fraud. All right, so, and it was kind of interesting how she did it, because as a person who's never been in scary situations, all right, you have a very low tolerance for those. Okay, being in Starfleet, every day or almost every day, you're facing all kind of perils that would make the normal person just like you said, they would make the normal person, squeamish and curl up in a ball. So when she was exposed to that, she was like, oh my God, she started freaking out. She was losing it. But to the crew, all right, they was just like, oh man, we next to a black hole. Cool. All right. Well, it's just another day. So eventually she ends up changing her mind and ends up resigning from Starfleet. All right. Now, the thing that they thought that they were being taught was teamwork. And that was the positive outcome of what the test would have been if administered correctly. Because people lose track of where they once were or where they are not. Okay, they always have a, like they say, grass is greener on the other side mentality. And I like the way they put it in this episode. The carpet's always grayer on the other side of the ship. Okay, so they learned a new appreciation for the particular skills and jobs that they have to serve on the Cerritos. So I thought that was a really good examination of teamwork and how they went into how basically for the ship to operate, everybody needs to contribute. Everybody's job is important, and everybody is important. Okay, so I like the way they did that. The Boimers. I can't end this video without mentioning Boimers walk up, to the camera like he was Locutus. That was smooth. You know what I'm saying? So, great job on this episode. I liked the message that this episode gave, minus the sex talk and all of the sexual activities and innuendo that they had going on in this particular kids show. But overall, like I said, man, they're doing a good job on this particular season. I recommend this episode. Please take a look and see if you guys, if any of the episodes or movies or things like that they referenced in this episode. Most all of them are classic Trek episodes and some of the best of the Trek movies. So, like I said, they did a great job. If you guys don't know some of the things that they covered, re-listen to this video, go and take a look at those episodes and those movies and see why they included them in this particular episode of Lord Dex. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And for those of you who haven't subscribed and you actually made it to this particular moment of time in this video, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot because it makes me feel like the class is getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? The class is getting bigger. So thank you for joining me on this bootleg. Hey, peace, recycle, say the whales. You guys be cool.